Hello again, welcome to today's attempt at the Fibble puzzle. This is Wordle, but there's a liar in every row. So maybe the V shouldn't be grey, but should it be yellow or green instead? Who knows? Or maybe the E, N, U, or the other E is the one that's lying. We don't know until we play the game. It's auto-populated that first guess, and it's not that helpful, but we do know that at least, well, exactly one of those letters must be in the word, because one of them is lying. So I'm going to keep the E. It's the most common letter. That's interesting. We do know now that the E is lying on at least one of those rows. So, let's try something like beard. The R would be lying in that situation because it would be green rather than yellow. So it's plausible. It's unlikely, but it's plausible. Okay, so it's getting more and more likely that one of these E's was the liar on the top row. But what is the liar on the next two rows? Could just be the R's on both. Feels a little bit unlikely. I was thinking it could be the C because it could be reach, but actually then there wouldn't be a liar on this row. Could be the S and the D because it could be reeds, but I don't think they tend to have plurals. Let's go back to the assumption that it's the A that's lying then. How about we try something like perky? Oh, that is actually very interesting. In fact, let's leave those guesses in. If we're assuming that the E is lying because it is definitely in the word, then that means that we've got the first letter. Maybe the R is lying because it should be grey, because it should be green. That's exactly what I said when I went for beard, but actually it could be pearl, couldn't it? Oh, what? Everything's gone grey! So that means everything is lying. Okay, right. What do we know? We know that the E and the A, from this row to this row, they've both changed colours. So one of them has to be lying up here, and one of them has to be lying down there. So that means everything else on these two rows must be true. So that means the P is true, so it's definitely lying there. Which means that the E is not lying, which means that the E is lying there and there. Which means that the A is definitely lying there. And it means that something else is lying in the first row. And it also means if it's PE at the... No, it's not PE at the start, because those are the liars, sorry. Which means that we've actually got hardly any letters. We know there's an A and an R, and that's about all that we know. Okay. Right, if there's an A and an R, the R's probably second. Because it can't be third or fourth. We have to use either the V, the N, or the U. It's probably going to be the N. So I'm thinking grant. That's a word. Right, what's that told us? What has that told us? We know the A is definitely correct. It's quite likely that the R is correct, because if the R is lying, then it has to be last, and then we get G blank A blank R. Feels unlikely. So probably the G is lying? But then we're running out of positions, or running out of letters rather, that can go in the other positions. Oh, maybe the T is lying. Oh, I was going to say maybe the T is lying because it's graphed, but actually it can't be graphed because then there is not a letter from that top row. So, if the G is lying, then we have to use the V or the U because we wouldn't be able to use the N. We still do have to use something from that top row. But it really, I don't know how we're going to get a V or a U in, so it feels unlikely that the G is lying. So therefore if the N is lying, oh, it could just be grain, couldn't it? There we go. That was quite simple in the end, but it took me a long time to get to that position because, as you saw, I just made some wrong assumptions. I played this game a few times on channel, as regular viewers will have known, and my assumptions are usually pretty good. I play the odds. Today, I made some very wrong assumptions and it took a few extra guesses, so clearly I'm not flawless, and I suppose that proves that I'm not cheating, just in case anybody thought I was. I don't know why you would. But yeah, that's Fibble in 6. I'm kind of happy with the way that turned out. We got there in the end and it was fairly comfortable. We still had a couple of guesses, but definitely not my best performance. Let me know if you played this game and if you did better or worse than I did. That's the Fibble puzzle. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.